Welcome to another edition of Jawaab TV. Today we have a very pertinent and controversial topic about grooming gangs within the Pakistani community. Is this a reality, or did Jack Straw just get it wrong? Is it something which we've been biting our tongues on, and now it's time to speak? Well, join us today as we, with a panel of experts in Bradford, will be delving into this issue.
There's always a negative connotation to Pakistanis when they are mentioned in the media, or there's already a certain way that it's looked upon.
The evidence quite clearly states that Pakistanis are no more involved in sexual grooming than any other community.
Well, 83% is...
No, it's not actually. You see, it's about how you look at sexual abuse and sexual violence. If you take a subset of that, which is called localized grooming, and that's a subset of overall sexual abuse. And the vast majority of sexual abuses in the UK, 80% of them are white indigenous males. So let's not forget that. Then there's a particular way it's organised, and my work across the country looks at how the pattern is different from South London, is different from Bradford, is different from Rochdale.
But
so it's how you look at statistics, and this is where you have a media hysteria and a circus. Because look at the headlines. At the moment there's two groups, footballers and Pakistanis. If they're involved in sexual violence, they'll make front page news. There was obviously the famous case we had Operation Retriever in Derby, where there was a group of Pakistani males who groomed. There was enormous media coverage of that. The equivalent white gang, didn't have any media coverage at all. So therefore there was a disproportionality there. At the moment, obviously monitoring it, there are many sexual abuse cases that are currently in courts that are running concurrently. However, the only ones which will reach the media, because it's the brilliant headlines, Pakistanis grooming in Oxford or elsewhere. So I think it's important to guard this. We have to have an evidence-based debate. And the research, and I'm not talking about the robust research that's
But do we guard too much of these issues within our community?
Then now we come on to the next issue. There is an issue in the Pakistani community. And even if it was one case, it's one case too many. So we can't be in denial. And I think, as has been mentioned, we have a wall of silence when it comes to sexual abuse intra-community, down to issues around bestie, izzat, and things like that. And we've got to lift that wall, because this is about protecting people who are vulnerable. And that's an Islamic value, and I think that's a universal value. So this is really important that we lift that and protect vulnerable individuals. And when you do that, then the sexual abusers and the domestic violence and all the other honour-based violence, individuals don't operate with impunity, which they're doing at the moment. We have to show a strong solidarity with victims, again, which is a core Islamic value.
If Pakistani males do, the perception that we're getting from the court cases, and the little that I have read in the media, is very much that they see white girls, or in terms of how Jack Straw has put it, as a viable option, or it's okay for them to do that, then no, that needs addressing. That issue of what their perceptions is needs addressing. Self-respect, if you ask anybody who commits any type of crime, whether that's sexual grooming, whether that's paedophilia, wherever, does that mean that they don't have self-respect? Well, even if you ask a pauper on the street who's begging, they'll still have an element of self-respect. I don't think it's about self-respect, I think it's a wider issue.
I remember when I used to be a housing advisor 7-8 years ago, we had some cases, so I've seen the cases, come forward, but it's not always the young white girls. It has been, the Muslim girls as well. Now the issue we have there is Asian families, they will not speak up about it. So if a parent becomes aware, there is no way you're going to know about that. It's going to be, because of stigma and shame, it's going to be basically pushed the back of the carpet. It's under the carpet.